national team
There's
trials. And ready to see more of it here in the men's 800 free final. Bobby Fink, the American record holder, is here. He ripped off that time in one of his electric gold medal swims in Tokyo. Won the 1500 and also took the Olympic debut of the men's 800 as well, and already grabbed the 1500 meter title at these trials. Freddie Gravely from University of Florida, a Fink training teammate, U.S. Open finalist here in December in the 800. He's in lane 1. David Johnston out of Texas, 3rd in the 1500, 4th in the 400 IM for the 20-year-old Longhorn. Will Gallant out of NC State, 5th at the Olympic trials in this race, and 2nd in the mile at the NCAAs for the Wolfpack last month. Fink at the top seed time, and off of that great American record by about 9 seconds, and won the U.S. Open crown in this pool in the 800 in December here in Greensboro. Ross Dant, will this be his long-awaited breakthrough? 3rd at the Olympic trials in the 400 and 800 frees, has the 2nd best seed time entering this race. Charlie Clark, already headed to Budapest, was the runner-up in the 1500 free, so he's already ticketed for Worlds. Ohio State Buckeye there in lane 6. Alec Enyart from Tsunami swim team of Kansas City, Texas recruit, 4th in the 1500 free this meet for the high schooler. And Tyler Watson, another Florida Gator in the mix, 6th in the 400 free already at these trials. Rowdy Ross Dant, another close call at this meet, 3rd in the 400 free at these trials, overtaken by Trey Freeman in the last 50. Last chance to make a world team here, needs to be in the top 2.
Yeah, you know, just like I talked about Beta Nelson earlier, it's certainly the sentimental favorite. I think a lot of people are pulling for Ross Dant, as they are, you know, David Johnston, who's been close, 3rd in the 15, as you said, 4th in the 400 IM. So those two have not made it yet. Only 2 from this field have made the World Championship team, as you mentioned earlier, Fink and Clark. So you kind of feel like you want to root for, if you're just a neutral person watching this, some of these kids that have not made it. Obviously, Fink is the huge favorite. He's going to make the team in this. But a lot of people pulling for Ross Dant, especially since he's been so close. And he was 3rd in this event last year by a little over half a second at the Olympic trials.
And trying to see if he can find his way through as they set their early paces. Enyart there in lane number 7, again, the high schooler. One of those out quickly, along with Johnston, again, who's been impressive again, both in 400 IM and the 1500 with top 4 showings.
At 800 in Tokyo, it was, you said it, I think you used the word electric. We've used that word a lot this week, and for good reason, but boy, talk about electric. I felt like I was electrocuted after watching that last 50 when he came home in like 12 seconds. Unbelievable.
Well, that's one of those, Rowdy, looking back on it, where you're like, there's no way.
I know.
And then all of a sudden you're like, well, there might be a way. And then all of a sudden, there's a way. The way is coming along.
I think Danny and I were sitting there talking about, you know, Pacinieri and Romanchuk and Melba. I mean, all these other guys that finished behind Fink at the end. And I don't know if I even mentioned Fink going into the 700. At the 750, I go, man, I think Fink's looking pretty good. And then boom. It was crazy. Fun race to watch.
Certainly
Talk
was.
about fun. Look at this this kid, 20-year-old David Johnston, doing a nice job early on. Again, one of those guys that have been so close here in Greensboro. He was 3rd in that 1500.
7:57.9, his best time coming in. Again, Bobby Fink was here at the U.S. Open, and he grabbed that title in December, trying to go a little bit faster than he did in winning that crown this kind of, I don't know what the right word to describe this season is, Rowdy. Compact, disjointed, whatever it is. But you see athletes starting, and the coaches to put together the training plans, kind of figuring it out with all the quality times we've seen this week.
Yeah, and it has been just an incredible week of fast swimming, a lot faster than I thought it was going to be coming into this week, just because it's been such a wacky year, short season. A lot of people took time off after the games, coming off an NCAA championships. It was just, it had all the markings for a much slower meet, and it has been anything but. It has been really, really fast, which gives you another example of the state of USA Swimming. It's pretty good.
That is certainly has been the case, coming off 30 Olympic medals for the United States in Tokyo. Fourth straight Olympics, U.S. swimmers had 30-plus medals, 8 in a row with 10 or more gold. And they'll go into the Worlds again with, medals galore. Led the swim count at the last 13 FINA Swim Championships at 9 consecutive Olympics. Bobby Fink certainly helped the medal tally with his pair of golds in Tokyo and leading the show here again in the 800 free.
Solid here in the last 3 100s, 8.2, 8.5, 8.7. So he's been very consistent, and he's actually ahead of his American record pace, which he broke at those Olympic Games last summer. The world record, it's just crazy. John Lin from China. It's one of those that many people pick as the best male world record, and I get it. I mean, it's hard to argue that. I say it's Phelps' 400 IM, but the guy that goes 346.7, 345.5, his last 400, 345.5 on that last 400 of the world record would have won the 400 here by a second. That's the last 400. Wow. Yeah. So that's a crazy world record.
You can see him. You can see him now.
I'll tell you, Johnston looking pretty good. Charlie Clark now starting to get into it, and Dan is now just kind of falling off the pace just a little bit.
He has slipped to about 5th right now there in lane number 5.
Yeah, he's got a lot of room to make up. Charlie Clark, the guy that got 2nd in the 1500, has looked very good the last couple 100 meters to close the gap in a big way. In fact, he's dead even with Johnston now at the 550 mark.
Bobby Fink, as expected, getting some separation here in the 800. The inaugural winner of that race at the Olympics, added to the program for the first time in Tokyo. And you probably won't get a better finish for a long time in that race than what Fink was able to offer in Japan. A lead here by over 4.5 seconds for the 22-year-old Florida Gator.
This crowd needs to get into it. It's a packed house again tonight, and it's too quiet because he's right on his American record pace. He was 5:48.7. There's 200 meters left to go. He's 2/10 under that record. This crowd, the guys on the deck, the women on the deck, they need to get behind Bobby Fink this last 150 because he can get under that American record. The top time in the world this year, 7:41.4.
Now Bobby Fink looking to see if he can get something done, passing some of the folks on the side. Some of the Gator faithful trying to cheer him on here as the bells sound. Bobby Fink setting up for the final 100.
6:46.8 is the record split. He's right at it. He's a 10th behind it. Now, remember what he did the last 100, especially the last 50. Does he have another one of those to get under that record here?
Bobby Fink trying to add to his list of accolades with another title here, potentially lower his own American record in the process.
He was 26.2 his last 50 at the Olympics. 26.2. That's faster than most 200 freestylers at the end. And there he goes.
Bobby Fink kicking it into high gear here to see where he ends up against the clock. He's going to win the men's 800 here at the International Team Trials going away. But what about the time? Bobby Fink headed towards the wall. Can he lower his own American record? To the wall, and it will be a new U.S. Open mark, breaking Zane Grothy's mark set in Irvine in 2018. Second place points will go to Charlie Clark, as the two guys that qualify in the 1500 qualify in the 800 as well.
Great comeback for Charlie Clark. His last 400 was just solid. He was out in 355, back in 354. He negative split that race, Charlie Clark did, to put himself on that team. Really good swim for Charlie, but another U.S. Open record.
And again, beat that mark from Zane Grothe from 4 years ago for Bobby Fink. And Charlie Clark getting it done too for him. A new personal best by over 4 seconds. So the Ohio State Buckeye qualifies for a couple of races as well. North Carolina